this is cjhoyle. Today is Saturday, June the 26th, 2021. And today I'm coming to you from the intersection of Bloor Street West and Runnymede Road, which is the western terminus of the Bloor West bike lanes. In this video, I'm going to be giving a narrated tour of those bike lanes, starting from that start point back there and riding as far as Shaw Street, where those bike lanes previously terminated prior to 2020. So the extension of these bike lanes came in last August of 2020, and this is my first time riding here and making a video of it, although I have certainly ridden these quite a bit. They really make getting out here to the West End a lot more convenient for me than it used to be. And this is just one of many projects that were built in 2020, which was our first pandemic summer. And they were building a lot of bike lanes. And I've shown a lot of the other ones in videos already. But the majority of the other ones I've shown, such as University Avenue, Danforth, Bloor Street East, a lot of those have been temporary bike lanes that are only supposed to, the city's only committed to them for the length of the pandemic, whereas these bike lanes here were installed in a permanent configuration. So there's no end date for these bike lanes. So here we're just passing through High Park. That's what the land directly to our right is. High Park is a very large park that we have out here in the west end of the city. Earlier this year, back in February, I posted a video where I went cross-country skiing in High Park. That was a fun experience that I did one morning before work. And right up ahead, we're going to be passing a street called Colburn Lodge Drive, or if you turn to the left, it's called High Park Avenue. And back in 2019, a little over 2 years ago, I filmed a video riding along Bloor Street West, and in that one there had been some announcements that they were starting to study the extension of these bike lanes, and I wanted to capture the before of the bike lanes. So I rode it starting from Yonge, and I went out as far as High Park, and that's because at that time that was what was being planned to be the termination. So we actually got an extra few kilometers beyond High Park Boulevard, or High Park Avenue, all the way to Runnymede Road. The street we're about to cross at the bottom of the hill here, if you are to turn to the right, it's called Parkside Drive, but if you turn to the left, it's called Keel Street, and Keel runs quite far north from here. And there's an interesting signalized crossing here, which has a separate signal just for bikes, and that is here, I guess, as a way of managing this right hook situation that we have with this right turn lane that's over here to our right. But it does mean that my bike signal actually turned red before the main traffic light signal for the rest of the vehicles. But I'm happy to wait an extra cycle here if it helps to ensure my safety. Got a little bit of a hill to climb up here, up ahead. So I'm filming this on a Saturday morning at around 9:45 or so. And this is supposed to be a weekend of a lot of rain. So it rained starting yesterday afternoon pretty solidly, I believe, overnight. And then this morning when I woke up, things looked like they were starting to dry out, but there's supposed to be more rain coming hot on its heels. So I decided to come out here this morning to try and film this video before the rain comes back again. I did look at the radar before I started filming, and it does seem like the weather is to the west of us and should be coming, so I've got the rain coming up behind me as I make this video, so I'm crossing my fingers that we won't get rained on. Of course, I have nothing against riding in the rain. I do it all the time, but it doesn't work out so well for making a video because water droplets get on the lens and it's really hard to wipe them off while riding, and it sort of interrupts the flow of things, so I prefer to film these in the dry weather. But you can see that the road, for example, is still a little bit damp from that rain earlier. The street we're about to cross is called Indian Road. So up ahead there's a section where unfortunately this beautiful bike lane is interrupted briefly, and it's while we're going underneath of a railway underpass, and I believe the reason they haven't opened a bike lane there yet is because there's some ongoing construction that's there. But sadly that ongoing construction's been going on since last summer. And one of the reasons I hadn't made a video yet showing this new bike lane was because I was really hoping that I'd be able to do it when that part was done too, but sadly I couldn't quite wait that long. So we'll have one little section past this street here, which is called Dundas Street West, where we'll be sharing the single set of lanes with the motor vehicles. Running underneath of Bloor Street here, we have the Line 1 Bloor Danforth subway, and Dundas Street West is one of the subway stops along it. We've already passed many other subway stops along our ride, although you wouldn't necessarily see them because the subway stops generally aren't really right on the road, like right on the main street. They usually have the station sort of on a side street that's maybe half a block to the north. All right, I'm gonna take my lane here. And yeah, there you can see they're doing some construction over there in what is normally the eastbound lane. And they've got both the eastbound and westbound lanes crammed into this westbound side here. But that won't be the case forever. They'll be eventually finishing up that construction and we'll get continuous bike lanes. Not only are these bike lanes continuous all the way from Runnymede to Shaw Street where I'm going in this video, but beyond there, there's an existing section of bike lanes that goes as far as it goes as far as Avenue Road. And then as part of the temporary bike lanes for the active TO city's pandemic response, there are a section of Bloor beyond there that has temporary bike lanes going through the Yorkville neighborhood. And then once you get through those, you're on to the Bloor Street East bike lanes that were already there. They connect up to the Danforth bike lanes that are temporary. And you can go all the way out to Dawes Road. It's a very long, continuous section of safe, protected bike lanes. And unfortunately, I could feel some raindrops coming down, so I hope you're still able to see as we're riding along here, or we'll stop at the next red light and clean things up a little bit. This is Lansdowne Avenue we're about to cross. Actually, we're gonna get a red light, so I'll do what I said I was gonna do here and stop and wipe off the camera. The camera I'm using, of course, is waterproof. It doesn't have any problem with getting wet, but like I said, it's more about the experience for the viewer at home who doesn't have the ability of reaching forward and wiping off the camera themselves. Let me just go one more time here before we start. All right, there's our green light. The temperature right now is around 20 degrees Celsius, so it's a perfectly comfortable temperature to be getting rained on. Yesterday when it was raining, I went bike riding and I wore my full rain jacket and rain pants, thinking that it would be a good idea to keep me dry, but with it being this temperature, I really just got too warm inside of those clothes and found it a very uncomfortable experience. I mean, I've experienced it before in the past, but it's been a while since I've ridden in the rain when it's been this warm. So today I'm just wearing my regular shorts and my regular shirts that I wear for bike riding, and I'm feeling the raindrops hit me, but I'm still nice and comfortable. Here's a patio for the Cafe TO program, another one of Toronto's pandemic response programs. And the next intersection up ahead is Dufferin Street. So this neighborhood here is known as the Bloor Court neighborhood, and I believe it gets that name because it's centered around the intersections of Bloor Street and Dover Court. Bloor Court. And you will have briefly seen parts of this bike lane when I was filming my 30,000 subscribers video where I did some Strava art and I wrote the number 30,000 on the map of Toronto by riding my bike with my GPS. And for writing those numbers, the bottom of every number was the line that Bloor Street draws. So we were coming on and off of this street quite a bit. And at the very end, I actually rode all the way along the bottom. All right, here's that Dover Court Road that I mentioned. And there's our green light. And again, I apologize, there hasn't been any more opportunities for me to stop and wipe off the camera, but as I said, I will do so when I get my next chance. Just passing the Long and McQuaid musical instrument store here. All right, and here's our next major intersection, Ossington Avenue. Ossington Avenue is another one that has a subway station. And the next traffic light up ahead is Shaw Street, and that's where the bike lanes that were built in 2016 terminated up until 4 years later in 2020. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed joining me on this narrated tour. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.